Y'all, I swear I never know how to do these intros, but that's okay. Welcome to my page. If you do not know me, my name is Aspen. If you do know me, welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope if you're new that you are here to join the fam. I'm going to jump straight into this video, you guys, because it's 2020 and we are all about elevating and educating all 2020. So that's what we're doing. I had dropped a video or a picture or something and I asked you guys what you guys wanted to see. I give you two options, and one was how to cover under eye bags and the other one was how to apply a super simple eyeshadow look that should only take about 20 minutes to get ready. You guys wanted to see a simple look, so that is what I'm here to bring you today. And if this look right here, yep, this one, if this look is too simple for you, then this video ain't for you. Just saying. So I came up with like 8 simple tips, tricks, steps, however you want to call it, on how to do a basic eyeshadow look. And so let's get right into it. All right, you guys. So as we all know, we are usually super busy. We are moms, we work, we're wives, we're girlfriends, we're wherever we are. We're single and busy, whatever that may look like. And we are wanting a look that is going to be super simple. And I am taking it way back to the beginning. So this is going to be like I said, beginner eyeshadow friendly, like beginner makeup friendly. We're going to take it back, way back. And so step 1 is going to be to figure out what eye shape you have. Guys, it is super important for you to know what kind of eye shape you have. There are several different eye shapes. So my eye shape is a hooded eye. So what that means is that when my eyes open, my lid and my crease are not visible as much. Now I know it looks like I have a lot of lid right here, but y'all, once you start putting on colors, it starts disappearing. I know there are women out there with severe hooded eyes that like when their eyes are closed, like you see no lid. You have women that have tons of lid space. You have women that have absolutely like just lid. And so like they have no crease, and so there's all different eye shapes. Whatever eye shape that you have, embrace it. It is perfect for you. You just have to learn how to work with it. So this is going to be geared more towards hooded eyes. And if you first follow me in the beginning, that was kind of like my catchphrase. It was hoodie gang gang gang. So if you're a part of the hoodie gang gang gang, if you're watching this video, throw up a, I know you have that sign. That's like my favorite. Like that's like peace, harmony, love, all. Anyways. And so since you have hooded eyelids, what you're going to want to do is bring the eyeshadow up a little bit higher than what you normally would. Super simple. I'm going to show you that. But let's get to step number 2. Step 2, applying a primer to the lid. Primer is so important, you guys. So you can use an actual primer like the Urban Decay potion, what's it called? I have it somewhere. Urban Decay's primer potion, or you can use a concealer. So whatever you want to use whatever you want to use what works for you. I prefer a concealer. If you are going to use a concealer, you want to use a concealer that is going to dry down, and so kind of matte like. You don't want it to be too dewy, because what I've learned that if the consistency doesn't dry down enough, then when you put the product on, that product will start moving. You get splotchy eyeshadow, patchy eyeshadow. I feel like I'm talking really fast, but we're trying to get through this video. It's supposed to be quick, right? All right, so some of my favorites are the Milani Conceal and Correct long wear concealer. NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. I like the ColourPop. Super popular is Tarte Shape Tape. That dries down perfectly. If you're looking for another good concealer, P. Louise Base, they say. Anastasia Beverly Hills has an actual primer, so you have tons of different options, but use what works for you. Like I said, you want it to still be kind of sticky, so you don't want it to dry down all the way. What primer is going to do is it's going to keep your eyeshadow in place. So especially if you have like oily lids, if you come across like where you're like, my eyeshadow keeps creasing or my shimmer is like moving, try putting down concealer first. If that still is a problem, then you can set it with a light amount of concealer, or not concealer, setting powder. I mean a very light pat, brush it away, and then you can go in that way. But yeah, primer is very important. It also helps make color pop depending on how like deep your skin tone is. That is going to be great for that. But regardless, what is the most important thing is to make sure that it is helps keep your eyeshadow in place so it lasts all day long. Let's get to step number 3. And I guess since this is a tutorial, I should probably tell you guys how to apply the primer. What I'm actually going to use is my Milani Conceal and Perfect. Since I'm doing a simple look, then I'm going to use like a primer that it doesn't have to be too light. I want it to be a little bit lighter than my skin complexion. But I'm just going to put a little bit on, just like this. You don't need much. And you can take your finger or you can take a brush that's like this. This is from Shop Miss A, and it's a high def brush, E103. And so it's kind of fluffy. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pat that down in a patting motion. So just like that. And you're going to kind of pat it up until it goes right below your brow bone. So you see how much concealer that I use. I didn't use much, y'all. And you see how much I'm spreading that out. So you're just going to spread that out real quick, and then we'll let that dry for like 1 to 2 minutes before you go in with your eyeshadow. And then we'll go on to step number 3. All right, step 3, we are going to talk eyeshadows. Now, eyeshadows are very important, especially if, like I said, we're trying to keep it quick. So the quality of your eyeshadow is very important, so it blends out easier. The better the quality, the quicker it blends, the quicker you can get finished with your eyeshadow look. Now, when I say quality, I did not say expensive. I know when people think quality, they hear expensive, but there are tons of companies out there that you can get inexpensive eyeshadow colors that are going to have a good mix of shadows, because when you're looking for an eyeshadow palette that is going to be your go-to palette, you want to have a good mix of mattes and neutrals. I mean mattes and shimmers, I'm sorry. In my opinion, unless you're an all matte person, that's fine, get an all matte palette. In my opinion, drugstores have too much of shimmer and not enough matte colors, and even their matte colors tend to have a little bit of shimmer. So I am going to always look for a palette that has like a true matte with some true shimmers in there, which I can coordinate and do different looks with. Some of my favorite palettes are going to be actually, let me grab it. Oh, one's at the studio. Actually, I think both of them are at the studio I work at, or at the salon that I work at. One is the Crayon Case Watch Me Blush palette, and I know that I had it. This is a good all matte palette, the matte book. Let me see. Any like Juvia's Place palette that has a good shade of like matte and some shimmer, like this is a good everyday palette. I really wish I could show you the Watch Me Blush palette, but like I said, I think I have it at the salon I work at. Whatever, that's a good mix too, and I use that a lot. Another place that has really good palettes are Morphe. Some of their palettes, sometimes they can get kind of patchy or splotchy, but whatever. Could be user error, but who knows. Anyways, what are some other good places? I can't think of any at the top of my head, but that's okay. What I'm going to use today, though, is Coastal Scents. Coastal Scents is one of my favorite places as far as beginner eyeshadow palettes go, because they come in these little single pots. And this isn't sponsored by anything. This is just what I actually started with and what I use now. But you can make your own palette, you guys. So these are actually single pots that I put into a palette, and you can do all type of color schemes. Which is really nice. So these are all single pots, and they have a 99-cent pot sale, so they're super affordable. And I just find, like I said, their shadows are super easy to blend out, and I think you should maybe try those, but do whatever works for you. So that is step 3, finding a good eyeshadow palette with a good mix of neutral colors, because if that's what you want for every day. If every day for you is colorful, then let a good mix of colorful, but for me and for a lot of people, it's going to be neutral. So find a good mix for neutral palettes, and find a good mix of matte and shimmer and quality. And like those palettes that I told you about, they're like $10 palettes, $25 palettes, which last you a good year. So like, y'all, invest in them. All right. And if you want any suggestions, jump in my inbox, or I'll leave some also below. Okay. So step 4, we are going to talk about the brushes that I use, or that I use, or the good brushes in general to use when it comes to a simple, basic eyeshadow look. I like to gravitate, like some of my favorite brands, first of all, are like Morphe, Shop Miss A have really good brushes. The Crayon Case, I like their brush sets. Sigma has some really good brush sets. They're a little bit more expensive, but I get my brushes from everywhere, you guys. Beauty supply stores, Target, Walmart, Real Techniques, anywhere. The important thing is really about like what they're made of. So these are from Morphe. These are, I have the E518 brush, E513 brush, M441 brush. I actually got 2 M441 brush because, wait, this is out of my client one. Okay, so because I have like, because I really do love that brush. That's a really good brush. But these are with natural haired bristles, and natural bristles, let me slow down. Natural haired bristles are going to pick up color really well. They don't last as long though as synthetic brush hairs, but I like to use those over natural brush. A natural brush hair that I really like also is a Morphe 412. That's a good brush for the crease. And so that's a good one. Where is my other, oh, but today what we're going to use are natural hair brushes. I'm not going to be using really any synthetic brushes, so I will go over the brushes as I'm using them when I start the eye look. But like I said, it's important to figure out what kind of brush that you want to use. I tend to gear towards more natural hair, but you can use synthetic and you can kind of use wherever. You just want to make sure that the brush is fluffy enough to disperse the color, or dense enough to pack on the color. And like I said, we will go over that when I start the eyeshadow look. So let's go into step 5. All right, so step 5, we are actually going to go into the makeup look. So we are going to start with a transition shade. I know that the new trend is like starting with like packing on the deeper shade and then blending it up with the transition shade and like going back and forth until you get that perfect blend. In my opinion, and like I said, in my opinion, I feel like that is more for when you want to have like more time to spend on looks, or also like Instagram looks. That is when you are wanting to pack and blend and pack and blend. Like that is when you want to use that. And that is kind of hard for me to do. That is not something I've mastered yet. Like I said, I'm more into trying, like, I don't have time. I need 20-minute looks, 30-minute looks that I can master and get out the door. So we are going to talk about like the traditional way to do it, and that is starting with a transition shade. What a transition shade is, kind of like the base that like holds the eye look together, so it's not like harsh lines. So you want to make sure that you start with a transition shade that is going to be 2 shades like darker than what your skin tone is. In my opinion, that's why you can even do 1 shade, but that is just gonna, well, for my look, I'm gonna use 2 shades darker than what my skin tone is. What the transition shade also does is it stops your eyeshadow, like I said, just from looking too harsh, and just basically supports the whole eye look. I just dropped all my single pots, but I don't think any of them broke, so let me pick those up real quick and I'll be right back. All right, one of them broke, but that's okay. They were affordable, so I can buy a new one. I think that was like a 99-cent one that I bought. But still, it's always R.I.P. to the eyeshadow that used to be. Your days are over. Okay, sorry, y'all. I'm a weirdo, so bear in mind if you're following me or you're new. Welcome to the madhouse where admission is free. No, anyways, so so I'm, like I said, I'm gonna be using Coastal Scents today, and I'm going to go in, let's see, with their single pot, Oktoberfest, and like I said, it is just a couple shades darker than what I am. I am gonna go in with, actually, I wish this brush was clean, my M158 brush from Morphe. And I'm going to clean this brush before I start. So hold on just a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I didn't want to go in with this brush because it was a little bit, like the color that was on it was a little bit deeper than the one I wanted to use. So I wanted to make sure it was clean. Anyways, so I'm going to go in with this Oktoberfest. And what I'm going to do is just pat the color on here. You always want to make sure you get off any excess. And then when you are putting eyeshadow down, the rule is that wherever you place your brush is where the eyeshadow is going to be the most intense. So when you're placing that transition color, you want to make sure that you are placing it, for this eye look, in the middle of your eye, and then blending it out. So I'm just patting, and then I'm going in. And you can use windshield wiper motions, or you can use circles. It is up to you. I'm just wanting to blow this color out. And so usually, like, I'll go in with windshield wiper motions to kind of disperse that color. And then I will go in with circular motions to blow it out, if that makes sense. So I will probably dip into this 3 or 4 times. So I'll place the color, do windshield wiper motions, and then I will do circular motions, small circles, and I'm kind of pushing my brush up and building that color up as I'm blending, and I'm placing it just a tad bit higher than I did the last time also, if that makes sense. So windshield wiper motions to disperse all that color, and then small circular motions. So just like that. And I'm going to bring it up. Like I said, we have hooded eyes, so I need to bring my transition color up to make sure that when I put my crease color up, my transition color doesn't all the way disappear. So I'm going to stop my transition color about, you see where that little crease is? I am going to stop my transition color right here, kind of where that crease stops curving, if that makes sense. I don't know, hopefully that makes sense. You'll be able to see, but I'm going to stop it about right here. So I will be back and you will see what that looks like. All right. All right, and what I also like to do, just because, like I said, I don't want you to be able to see any type of line, and you can still see a line. I'm gonna take this fluffy brush, and this is actually my favorite, like transition or like brush to like blow stuff out, like blow colors out with. It's from Ruby Kisses, and it's their tapered eyeshadow brush. And so what I'm gonna do is just go in, and do you see it's just making that harsh line just disappear. You are my love, no one above. From at the top, you are my everything, come my little. And then I'm gonna go back in and repeat that process one more time. So I'm gonna go in, disperse that. So this is my fourth time, or third time actually, going in with that transition color. And like I said, if you, it shouldn't be too difficult. If you're having to go in and blend it, like this transition color shouldn't take you no longer than let's say probably 2 minutes once you master it. Like I said, this is going to be a look you're going to be able to master. So the first time that you do it, it might take you like 45 minutes, and then the second time you do it, it might take you 30 minutes. Eventually this eye look should take you about 15 minutes, which combined with your full face makeup, if you're doing a full face, it should take you 30 minutes. So, but you see that little combo, how easy I blended that out and how quick I blended that out just by explaining that to you guys. So I'm going to do this other eye, and then we will go into step number 6. Oh, you told me you love me, told me you need me, I'ma stay by your side, you are my love. Another tip that I'm gonna give you is that I like to kind of hold my elbow up and hold my brush almost perpendicular. Is that the word? Just straight, like at a 90-degree angle that way, especially with hooded eyes, because no matter how you do the eyeshadow, you want to make sure that you are bringing it out straight. If that makes sense, you don't want to curve too much. You want to bring it out in a kind of straight line, because we are trying to bring our eyelid up. So one more tip or trick, and we are actually done. Okay, so we are now going to go into the crease shade. And with the crease shade, you are going to want to take a shade that is going to be a couple of shades darker than your transition shade. And you're going to want to start from your outer eye and blend in. Now, when it comes to placing eyeshadow, like I said, wherever you lay your shadow down is going to be where the color is going to be more intense. So when we dip our brush into this crease shade, we are going to want to start right here. So that color is super intense on the outside. Now when it comes like to blending in deeper eyeshadows, I like to start directly in my crease just like this, and then I'm gonna start with, and I'm just gonna show you with my brush first. I like to start in my crease like this, and then I'm gonna work my way in to blend that color. So I'm gonna dip, pat, and then start working my way in, and then I'm going to kind of work my way up as I'm blending. I also don't want to make sure that like my two shades, we don't want them to muddy up. So whatever I'm going to do small circular motions, because I'm wanting that to, yes, be my crease shade, but I'm also wanting it to stay right here. We will go in with this blending brush, and we don't keep any type of shadow on this. This is just strictly like a blending brush. We'll go in small circular motions and blend those shades in together. The crease shade is going to add dimension. So I will actually go in with the crease shade, so we are like talking and doing makeup. So like I said, once again, I'm going to take that deeper shade and I'm going to place it right there in my crease. What I like to do is wherever the eyeshadow is concentrated, it's more concentrated on the top. So I'm holding my eyeshadow brush right here, and I'm kind of pushing up, if that makes sense, and I am dispersing that color over. Now I don't want it to go all the way over, not for this eye look. I'm stopping it right just a little bit past the middle of my eye. And then when I get to here, this is, like I said, I'm going to do those circular motions, and I'm going to bring the eyeshadow up. Also, I forgot to tell you what color I'm using. So I'm using the Coastal Scent Single Pot still, and this is Deep Roast. And so that's what that looks like. Just a really deep shade. You also want to make sure that whatever shades you are using, like if you were doing a brown look like this, you want to make sure that you are using cool tones together or warm tones, and that could be another video for another day. But you see that blend, it's already almost blended out perfectly. So I'm just going to, like I said, take that, do small circular motions. And you see how pigmented that shade is? So I don't even think I have to go in actually and place that color again. I'm just going to do those small circular motions right where you can see that crease shade and that transition shade, kind of where it meets. And you just want to blend that out until it is just a seamless blend. Like I said, you can go in with this and just do small circular motions just to blend that all together. Or you could also go in with the blending brush the brush that you use for your transition color, and you can go in and you can blend it out like that as well. So I'm actually going to go in with the transition shade that I use and blend it that way. But like I said, those are the 3 ways that you can blend it. And remember, like I said, we're going to make sure that we're bringing those colors out in a straight line because we are trying to open up this hooded eye of yours. Now, also when you're placing that crease, what I like to do, make sure that what we're trying to do is conceal what I call this fat back. Do you see? That's what I call it, that fat back. Bloop, all that skin, and then it falls. That is what we are trying to conceal. So once again, we are placing it in the crease. Okay, and we are bringing it a little bit farther than halfway over. And we are focusing, we are basically just blending on that fat back. And we are just making that fat back just disappear. We're wanting to make it kind of fall back. Like I said, open up the eye. Does anybody else find that like one eye is harder to blend than the other? Like I gotta hold my head all weird to blend out my left eye. And I didn't tell you what brush I was using. I'm using the M513 brush for my crease, and like I said, M518 was what I used for my transition shade. And I can use these 2 brushes for whatever, like any look. You guys can use this concept that we are using can be used with any colors that I like to say are in like the same family. So if you would want to do like a purple, you would go in with like a purple that is just a couple shades darker than your crease purple is going to be, and then you go in with your crease purple. And then now, talking about step number 6, we are going to go into step number 6, which is, we're actually done. We're gonna go into step number 6, which is a shimmer. So one more step, you guys. Well, 2 steps kind of. All right, so real quick, let's go over what we have done. We've done our transition shade and our crease shade. Once again, if you have hooded eyes like me, you see that everything is brought up higher than what my actual crease is, where my actual lid is. We're bringing everything up, though, so that when our eyes are open, you can see everything. So next up is going to be to go in with your shimmer shade. I am going to go in with a gold. You can go in, you don't have to go in with the shimmer shade. You can go with like a matte color as well. So you could do like a matte color like this, or you could go in with like a matte color that is like no, not that. That is not the shade I wanted. A matte color, just a neutral color. You can go with a neutral color, but I'm gonna go in with this gold called Caramelized. And when I'm putting on shimmers, I am always gonna use like a dense brush. This brush is from the Vintage Cosmetic Company, and it's step 1 for the money. I think I got it from a BoxyCharm, but it is very like dense, and dense means like densely packed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of this shimmer on my brush, and I like to put it on both sides. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a spray. You could take any kind of setting spray, and you're just gonna spray that down. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start right where my lid's at and just begin packing that color down. We are not gonna spread, we are gonna pack. Okay, and we're just gonna bring it halfway over. You just gotta be worth it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, sorry. So we are bringing it halfway over, and we are just strictly putting it on our lid. Now, if you have hooded eyes, again, what we are going to do is we are going to bring that shimmer up just a tiny bit more above our actual lid. So I like to look down at the mirror and I can see exactly where my crease starts, and I'm just bringing it up a tiny bit more so that when my eyes open, it is just opening it all the way all the way up. You can also do this with your lid closed, and what you would do is just pat that color just right to where your eye is open. But you see how that opened my eye? Even this eye is a little bit open than this one. I haven't brought this color up all the way like I have on this one, so I can tell the difference. All right, and then we also, this is part of step 7, we just want to make sure that this is a seamless blend. So what I like to do is just dip my finger in whatever that deep crease color was, and I just like to pat that shadow in to the shimmer. You want to be careful because sometimes it'll transfer over like it just did there, and you don't want to lose any of that matte. So you just want to lightly pat just enough where it blends in. If you don't want to use your fingers, that's completely fine. You can take the brush and just pat like this as well. All right, guys, so step number 8 is basically just bringing the colors that you just used here to your under eye. The brush that I like to use for that is going to be any type of like dense kind of packed brush that I can kind of sweep that color onto my lid. I really like this Morphe 434 brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with that first transition shade, and I'm going to sweep it all the way over. And we're actually layering these shades to get like that seamless blend. So we'll go in that transition shade, and then we're going to go in with that deeper shade, and we're just going to concentrate that deeper shade on the outer corner. And I'm just taking that and just doing super quick sweeps because I'm not trying to do too much color down there. Because not with me, because with my eye bags, it'll accentuate it a little bit too much. So I want to make sure I keep that as close to the waterline as possible. I'm going to go back in with that first transition shade again and just blend out the bottom of that darker shade, just like that. Because like I said, everything's about blending, making sure nothing is harsh. Then I'm going to take my pinky with this little shade right here and make sure that I stamp my inner corner, because that is going to just open up my eye even more. And so that is step number 8, just doing your bottom line. But that really, step 8 is really like up to you if you want to do it or not. I just figured it's a step that I always forget until like I get somewhere I'm like, dang, y'all, I didn't even put no eyeshadow on my under eye. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but I have. So you guys, the look is complete. So this is a super simple look that should take you about 20 minutes. I really love it, like how easy and quick it is. Like I said, it's my go-to look whether I'm running errands, date night, anything. You can choose to complete this look with eyeliner or lashes. I don't do any eyeliner. I do lashes, or sometimes I'll just do mascara, but I don't do eyeliner because like I said, with these hooded eyes, I don't want any of this lid to go away. But you got to make sure that you're good at eyelashes, because if you're not good at eyelashes, you don't have the eyeliner to like mask it. So guys, I'm actually gonna do something different, and I'm gonna do no lashes. I've noticed in my like everyday life that a lot of women don't wear lashes, and like when I'm with the clients that I have, like I think that I hear a lot from them that they don't wear lashes. So I'm going to be a little makeup rebel and not put on any lashes and just show you what this looks like with just mascara. This is actually my favorite mascara. It is the Tarte Man-Eater foundation. Man-Eater mascara. Love this mascara because I barely have any, and it actually makes you look like you have them. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it is 2020, so we're educating and elevating, and you guys wanted to see this. If this was too simple for you, then this video ain't for you. Oh, I should put that in my intro. That's a good one. You gonna hear it again. I'm gonna put it in my intro. But once again, if you have any suggestions, comments, concerns below, just put them right there below. That's all you got to do. Make sure that you are following me. I don't know if I'm gonna put this on YouTube. We'll see. If not, you'll definitely be able to catch more IGT videos here, as long as you guys keep giving me suggestions. So thank you so much for being you. I am going to continue to be unapologetically me, and yeah, that's it. Peace, love, and harmony, y'all.
Yeah, yeah. Fascinating brown eyes, feel like I'm in paradise, sweeter than honey, with more than